Welcome to Crowder's Mountain State Park. Today we are going to be doing the Crowder's to Rocktop Trail, I believe is what it's called. If you're in the upstate Charlotte area, I think this is pretty much a perfect day hike. It's about 6 miles. I'm not sure the elevation off the top of my head. I'll put it on the details of the video after. As we pulled in here, you saw there's some overflow parking. It's actually down over there. It was on the left as we pull in. This is the main parking lot. In the summertime it can be pretty busy here, so you may have to park down there, but it all leads to the same place. Other than that, I'll show you guys where the trailhead starts and we'll go from there. Pretty shortly into the main trail, you're going to come to your first split. Today we are going right to the Crowder's Mountain Trail. It's about 6 miles, 3 hours give or take. So let's go on down. There are a couple intersections on this trail that you have to keep in mind, but the way that I do this trail, I'll show you a few tips and tricks. It's pretty easy to remember, but I'll show you everything that you need to know during this. If you are in the upstate Charlotte area, this is about as good of a day hike as you're going to get without having to drive an hour plus away. This is a really great place. It is a little bit busy in the summertime. That can happen. This time of year, it's December right now, late December. It's pretty quiet. If you are maybe a solo hiker, somebody who is new to hiking or just wants to be out in nature, get out in the woods, get some exercise, but maybe don't want to feel like you're completely isolated away from, hours apart from humans. This would be a good spot for you for that, because you're you're never far away from somebody. You will pass people in both directions. You'll probably get past. You will be passed. But even on a slow day, you'll encounter people pretty frequently. For some people that may be a big con, some people that's a pro. It just entirely depends on what you're looking for out of a trail. There are some really good views on this trail. There's actually, I'd say about probably three good views along the way. So for a 6 mile trail to have 3 different viewpoints is kind of fun. The main one at the top, which we'll go over, is a little bit tricky to follow because it actually isn't marked very well. The rest of the trail is marked very well. You have no issues finding or staying on trail, but you get to the top and there's a tower, and we'll go over that when we get up there, and you have to kind of go past it, but it doesn't say to go past it, so it can be a little bit deceiving, but we'll get there when we get there. Now after that initial right, you will just stay on that trail. There's no more forks, but you will eventually come to a road crossing, and you do want to go across. Just keep an eye out for some speedy cars. But we got lucky and we're gonna get right across. Not by much. Shortly after the road crossing, you will come to your next split. We're going to go right to the Rocktop Trail. You could go left. It essentially turns into the same trail. It is a loop. I personally like to go right because it feels a bit more like a hike. If you go left, you do the flat section first and you end up climbing upstairs. So if that's your jam, I would go left. But for me and my not so great knees, I prefer to go down the stairs and climb up the mountain. And to do that, we go this way. Plus you get more of a view payoff quickly and for all this hard work you've already put in. Which that's why we're all here, right? So I actually lost my original clip of the view from the top of this first little outlook. So I'm just doing a quick voiceover. Now, this section leading up to the first view and the immediate following section are well marked in the sense of there's the red circle blazes on the trees so just follow those as best you can. But it is a bit of a choose your own adventure. It's kind of just go up. So you'll see here is a good little spot to take a little break here, have a sit, have a drink. Immediately following this is the last kind of hard section here, and you just need to go up. Again, there's no real defined trail. It's just follow the red circle blazes and continue your way up through the elevation. Alright, we are through that section, and I am a bit out of breath. It's not particularly the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it is a lot of elevation very quickly. So just be prepared for that. Take breaks as needed. Drink some water. But yeah, it is some elevation very quickly. But that's the hardest part of this hike. If you can get through that, you're good. There's one more elevation gain after that, but it's on an access road. It's very easy graded, so nothing to worry about there. From this point on, we're working our way up to the second view, and I'll probably do a quick time lapse. We'll get you there so you can check it out. You may come to this rock right here. You can see the red circle blazes. Now you can go around it, and if you're afraid of heights, I would recommend it. That just loops back to the same exact spot we're going to end up, but we're going to climb it today. I don't know how this is going to go whilst I'm holding a GoPro, but we're going to give it our best shot. And for those of you that don't love heights, this may not correlate well with the camera. I don't love it, if I'm being honest with you. But it is the Rocktop Trail after all, and this is the top of the rock. Now, if you don't want to do this, that other trail loops to right here. So you don't gain or lose anything extra. You just don't take the risk of dying. That's all right. Shortly after that rock, you will see this section. You can go around on the right again, but if you see those orange blazes on the rock, that's also the trail. I find this way a little bit easier, but you do have to kind of do a little bit of rock climbing here. So that is up to you on how you want to accomplish that. This is the second view spot. And there's no one here. Lovely. It's not the most breathtaking view in the world, but you can see the Blue Ridge Mountains off in the background as long as you have a clear day. Nice spot there to take some pictures. And this spot is usually, at least compared to our last view spot, pretty quiet. There's usually not too many people here, because the last view spot has a few other ways to get to it other than this trail. So there's a few easier routes to get there, so you'll see that it may be quite busy. Now if I were doing a day trip up here and I wanted to have some nice lunch in a nice quiet spot, I would do it here. You're going to be a lot more secluded, have some more a little bit more privacy, but all in all, it's a nice little spot, and I'm going to have a drink. Alright, once you've hit the access road, you are on your final ascent now. This is it, the home stretch. There's really not much to this, you just follow the road. There'll be a couple winds at the top, but it's as simple as following the road. Now once we get to the top, there is something I do want to go over because it will trip some people up because it's not very well marked, but we will get to that when we get to that. See you at the top. There, after you come to the end of the road section, you will be met with this very large radio tower. Now, this is the part that I mentioned earlier that is not very well marked if you're coming from this direction. So anyone coming through the access road or through Rocktop Trail, you may think, well, I guess this is it. I actually know somebody personally who hiked up here and thought, well, I guess this is it. Now, they should put some more signs over here, and this does look like something maybe you shouldn't do, but I assure you, this is the trail. Alright, that was the last view of the Rocktop Trail. Now we're heading down to the Crowder's Trail section of it, which is the loop back. These are the stairs I talked about earlier. We are going down them in this direction. Now, you could turn around and go back down Rocktop if you want to. That is another option. You can backtrack right back to the same place. I just prefer a good loop myself. So we will descend the stairs and I will catch you at the next intersection. All right, after the stair set, you're just going to continue a very wide trail straight down. Nothing to say much about that, but you will hit another intersection here. There is two options. You can go straight to the Linwood access area, or we're going to go left to the visitor center. Now, for those of us who are doing the Rocktop Crowder's Trail Loop, we are going left. But if you wanted to see that view, that last view, there are a couple ways to do it, and this access road is another one of them. I have not done it personally, but it would definitely shave a few hours off of your excursion if you wanted to go that route. But not us. We are going left. Now, admittedly, this last section is the most boring. There is not much of a view, although this time of year with the leaves gone, you can see a little bit of the surrounding area, which I guess is something, but it's relatively boring. It's pretty flat. There's no more ups or downs for the most part, other than a few small hills. So this part, just trying to make good time, enjoy a nice walk in the woods. It is relatively peaceful, if nothing else. So after this section, we basically end up at our intersection where we went right to go up the rocks immediately to the first view. So we will check back in once we get there. And just like that, we're back at the loop. Now all we got to do is head back down, go back across the road, and we're just going to follow the trail all the way back to the parking lot where we started. Pretty straightforward from here. I'll catch you back at the park. Alright, we are back to the truck. That was a nice little day hike. Now, Crowder's Mountain State Park, I can't say enough good stuff about them. They keep the trails very, very well maintained. They're very well marked. There's really seldomly ever a question of what trail you're on. Everything's very well done, very clean. So if you're in the upstate Charlotte area and you want a nice day hike, I can't recommend them enough. Rocktop to Crowder's Loop that we did today, it's a little 6-mile jaunt. It was great. Perfect day hike. It is, I would say, moderate. I wouldn't call it an easy hike. There is some elevation gain. There's some scrambling to be done in some spots. But if you're somewhatly active, you can easily do it. I have seen toddlers and Crocs do it, so I believe in you. If you want more of an easy day hike there is a trail called the Pinnacle Trail. That is a 4-mile, I believe, trail. That's pretty good. It's relatively easy. I'll have a video up on that soon, I hope, and we can talk about that then. But all in all, Crowders is a fantastic resource for anyone in this area, so I'd recommend checking it out. If you guys have any other questions or comments, just leave them down below. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.